This is the worst haircut I've ever had. The stylist that I went to is such an asshole. They destroyed my layers. I can't even look in the mirror.
You're not just being a good stylist, you're helping them regulate and reference.
My therapist asks questions like this, like keeps it moving.
These tools will last you an entire career, and it's better to start sooner than later.
Welcome to Hair Smarter, the podcast from It's the Break Room that cuts through the noise and gets real about life behind the chair. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Sarajane. And today we're talking about a topic that's equal parts technical, emotional, and let's be honest, draining if you're not prepared for it.
Whew, that's right. We're getting into how to handle unhappy clients, especially when they come to you after a razor cut that they hated. Now, sometimes it's a cut you didn't do, and sometimes it's one that you did.
Well, and either way, it's a real fragile situation. But the truth is, how you show up in these situations is like really what sets you apart from being a real pro.
Listen, let's get right into it, right? So let's start with this. You're not the one who did the haircut. You're the one they're turning to now. And they walk in and they're like, oh my God, this is the worst haircut I've ever had. The stylist that I went to is such an asshole. They destroyed my layers. I can't even look in the mirror. They destroyed my life. I can't do anything. My hair's awful. I heard that you're great, all that.
It's a trauma dump. And obviously, they're like so fearful to have their hair cut again on
Yeah.
top of an already bad haircut.
Yeah.
So, what is our job in a situation like this? It's important that we validate the feelings and we get the conversation and the energy in the room grounded. It's not our job to feed the fire and feed bad energy. Like, this happens. It's a
Yeah.
situation you're going to see over and over and over again in your career. Also, how you handle these situations is so important
Yeah.
because energy is a big deal in what we do.
So here's actually the psychology behind it, right? So clients in distress often want to co-regulate. So what does that actually mean? According to the research on emotional intelligence that we looked at by a guy named Daniel Goleman, when someone is spiraling like out of control, they're actually borrowing your nervous system to calm theirs down.
It makes sense because if you start panicking and people pleasing or bashing other stylists in this situation, they're obviously going to match that energy and the situation is going to just keep spiraling, right?
Yeah.
But if you stay calm and grounded and present and offer another direction, they'll match that instead.
Yeah. We've all had situations like this, right? Something that I always try to do is I say like, hey, you know what? I hear you. Ugh, it sounds like that cut didn't feel right for your texture. Let's take a look together and get you feeling good about your hair again.
Yeah, this is also grounded in a practice called motivational interviewing that I just learned about. It's used in therapy, health coaching, and in social work to guide somebody towards solutions by asking specific, like non-judgmental questions. So you're taking it away from the panic and you're getting them to think about what the actual problem is and how you can actually solve it.
Ugh, that's hard. That's really hard, right? I guess some of the questions I would ask is like, well, what feels too collapsed right now? Where are you noticing the most wispiness, maybe lack of shape? What would feel more like you? Volume, structure, softness. I guess really what we're saying with this motivational interviewing is giving them a specific question to answer that's about moving forward. What do you say?
Yeah. It depends. And if it was like a big change, is it just the haircut? Is it just having a haircut that traumatized you? Because a lot of times it is that, you
Yeah.
know, If it is a horrible haircut, I'm like, yes, the same questions that you asked. Like, is it hard for you to style? Did it change your routine?
So this is something I feel like when I go to therapy, my therapist asks questions like this, like keeps it moving, right?
Definitely. This shifts the brain from the emotional flooding into problem solving.
Yeah.
You're not just being a good stylist, you're helping them regulate and reference.
Great. Yeah, you're basically just reframing what happened and like we're moving together in a new thing. I mean, I don't know. I probably do this not to that extent, but to some extent, 5 times a week, maybe 10 times a week if I'm seeing like 30 clients, right? There's always something and it's exhausting. And you know what? I'm going to be honest, it's not burnout, it's actual emotional labor.
Yeah. Sociologist Arlie Hochschild, is that how you pronounce it? He coined this term emotional labor is when you manage people's feelings as a part of your job. And that's what we do, isn't it?
Yeah, that
Every
sounds
day.
familiar, right?
Like you said, 10 times a day.
And listen, like we're expected and we see it on social media and kind of take pride in it almost like we're expected to be therapists and then we're expected to be artists and then we're expected to be diplomats. And on top of that, we're expected to stay booked and ready. I mean, no wonder we're like fried.
No, it's crazy. It's crazy. Well, here's what the research says is if you don't create boundaries and offload that emotional weight, it builds into compassion fatigue.
Mm.
It's a term from psychology used for caregivers, nurses, and yes, service pros like us.
Oh, yeah. So in that research, they really give you some solutions to help with that. And so what you want to do is you want to create closure rituals. So maybe
Mm,
it's washing your hands. Maybe it's take a walk around the block. Maybe it's taking 3 deep, meaningful breaths, right? It might sound like woo-woo stuff, but it does give your body the cue. That story
it's
stays in
over.
the salon. It's
It's
done.
over. It's like you have to do it in between every client too.
Yeah.
So
You gotta take that time.
you know what other practice I love also in that regard is like, you know how dogs shake everything off?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's we can do that as people too. You like literally shake your hands and your legs and like
So true, right?
move your body. And then you're like prepared to go into the next client with fresh energy as opposed to hanging on to the residual emotional dump that you just got.
And listen, it might feel weird to do it, but like, just give it a try. Give it a try. I'm sure there's like a
Yeah.
theory behind this, right?
Yeah. This also goes part of the polyvagal theory by Dr. Stephen Porges is like your nervous system needs signals that the threat is over. Otherwise, you stay stuck in this fight or fix mode. And it even follows you at home, you know, when you get home at night, when you're like
Mm.
relaxing with your family. And we as stylists need to learn how to shake that off so we don't carry that around with us
It's just
outside of
creating good boundaries, right?
work. All right, now let's flip it. You did the haircut.
Oh,
They're
dear God.
upset. Maybe they ghosted you. Maybe they have like flooded your text messages at midnight and totally disrespected your boundaries. Or maybe they left like a bad review on Google.
I had to be honest. This happened to me recently. Oh, the worst.
Oh yeah,
But
it's so
I'll
hard.
tell you what has helped me. You need to separate your identity from the result. So, research
Hmm.
from Dr. Carol Dweck on growth mindset actually shows that when creatives believe their worth is equal to their output, they're more likely to crumble under criticism.
It's so true. It's so true. We put so much personal stuff in our work that when somebody isn't happy with us,
I
you
mean, it could
like
throw your whole
you
day
crumble.
if
You throw
you're
your
not
whole
aware of
day
it.
off and then you're unable to work.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
you
Yeah.
really have to separate yourself from your work and say, all right, this isn't me. This didn't land, and that's okay. It happens. I still have value. How do we move on? And this is how you get your power back, by acting and not reacting emotionally.
Easier said than done, right?
Oh my
So,
God,
like,
it's
for
so
example,
hard.
oh, it's the worst. So, like I said, I had this happen recently. And one of the things that you could say when something like this happens is like, hey, thanks for reaching out. I'm so sorry that it didn't feel right. Do you want to come back in so we can like take a look together?
Yeah. And well, let me just go back to that because I have a lot to say about thanks for reaching out. You want to come in and take a look together. I think that is like the most important thing that you can say in this situation. Do
Mm,
not try and do any consulting via text,
yeah.
video chat,
Yes.
or even on the phone. You literally have to have them be in front of you because
Okay.
there's so much room for interpretation, right? There's also that nervous system thing that we talked
Mm-hmm.
about earlier, is when you're with somebody and in front of somebody, your energy can help calm them down. So you
I
want
mean,
that to
let's
happen.
take it offline
You,
because we all know how
yes.
nasty it can get
You can
offline.
you can't solve
Yeah.
any problems if they're not in front
Yeah.
of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't make any decisions either.
How do you feel about like reviews and refunds?
That's a tough question. I will want to do everything in my power to make somebody happy.
Yeah.
So I will typically not refund somebody, but I will maybe put a plan of action together. Like, all right, so we cut, hypothetical, the length too short. That's going to take 6 months to grow out. Let me give you like 2 months of bang trims for free.
Mm,
Takes 10 minutes. That's a hypothetical situation,
right, right, right.
but at least they're getting something out of it. They feel like they're being heard and you're willing to work with them. It's tough. It's tough with reviews. I'm not like a review kind of person. I'm not out there like
Well, it's important
asking.
though if people are my thought is you have to offer something in real life, right? IRL. Like to get it off, like you said, the text, the videos, the this, the that. Like come back in. Let's talk in real life, which is what your hair is in real life, right? You
Yes.
can
Yes.
offer a tweak, a follow-up, a chance to connect. But if they're still upset at the end of the day, you actually don't have to cave in and just be like, here, take all your money back because you actually did the work. So I would say don't cave. You just have to show that you care. And if they'd
Yes.
like to come back and do
Yeah.
that, great. If not, that's fine too.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think there's a customer service expert, Richard Gallagher. Is that true?
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
He wrote the customer service survival kit,
That's what
says
it
that the
was.
best way to de-escalate a tense interaction is to stay assertive and empathetic and not apologetic and avoidant.
Yeah,
And
I think
and
that's what
what
it
this
is.
means to me is like going back to the consultation, right? If you're doing a proper consultation to begin with, all of your information that you need to bring to this situation is there. But,
Great.
you just refer back to the consultation. We talked about this. You agreed that we were going to do this. I agreed that we were going to do this. So
Yeah,
you have that, and that's assertive. And you're not saying, like, oh, I fucked up because we agreed on this.
yeah, 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 yeah. All right. So let's like kind of ground this whole discussion in some real talk. So, like, here's a few examples of what you can say in certain situations. Do you want to start?
Sure. Okay. So when someone starts spiraling, you can say something like, you deserve to feel good in your hair and let's look at what we can adjust.
That's a great thing, right? It's acknowledging their
Hmm.
feelings, but you're like, let's
Validating.
actually move on to seeing how we can fix this.
Yeah.
When you're fixing someone else's work, I think it's really important to acknowledge where they are. So I sometimes I'll say something like, this might feel emotional, but we're in it together now. So let's focus on what'll support your hair moving forward, right? Like, let's make it about we're working together to do something in the future, which is right now.
Yeah, and get it out of the past. What's done is done, and thank God it's hair and it grows. And if they bring up the razor, something that you can say, like razor cutting when it's done right, and it can be really precise and intentional, but let's find the version that works best with your texture.
Amazing. That's perfect. Cause then you're not trashing
Mhm.
the razor and you're not like, oh my God, it's the worst tool ever. Why would anyone use it? That doesn't make any sense, right? So
No.
I love that. I love that
Yeah.
comment.
Yeah.
Honestly, none of this is taught in beauty school, but it really should be because this is what turns stylists into trusted guides. It also gives you longevity within your career and helps you learn to regulate. Like, we're in the people business, whether you want to call yourself a service provider or not, we are. So, this really can help us as hairstylists get in the right space.
Yeah. So important. These
Mm,
tools will last you an entire career, and it's better to start sooner than later.
yeah.
So, what's the takeaway here?
Well, one of the big takeaways, I think, is you are not your work. You are the guide.
Mhm.
You are the calm in the storm. The work is what you do, it is not who
Mhm.
you are.
Yeah.
What about you?
So true. So true. Well, you don't need to gossip to be supportive,
Mm.
and you don't need to fold to be kind, and you don't need to take someone else's pain home to prove you're a pro.
Oh, God. From your lips to God's ears, or whatever that stupid saying is. Like, my God, took me 30 years, right? Listen, guys, we hope that this helped you build some muscle around the hardest, but most human parts of being a hairdresser and the craft.
Yeah, and if this hit home, share it with your crew. We're making the soft skills a little bit louder.
All right, you've been listening to Hair Smarter because good hair starts with better questions.